Okay, here we go. All right, I've got my gloves on. You know what that means? We're going to unbox something else. For you only. We have the Accuphase E4000. It arrived about a week ago. We just haven't had a chance to open it. So this is the second from the top of the line in terms of their Class AB amplifiers. So they do have a separate Class A series. They are perhaps a bit more expensive depending on the product, and certainly a lot less power. This one is rated at 180 watts into 8 ohms, 260 into 4 ohms, and it's $14,999 Canadian. From what I can gather, it's $13,575 US dollars. All right, let's open it up and I'll talk a little bit more about it. Double boxed. Okay. All right, this is probably the remote control power cord and manual. Yep. So power cord, manual, and again, the beautiful champagne gold remote control. It's metal. Very well made. All right, we won't bother taking those. Again, one of the things I really appreciate about Accuphase is how simple they make packing and unpacking. So you'll notice that the top foam pieces say top rear, top front. And so if I ever have to pack it back up, this really makes it simple. Let's throw this over there. You know, this, what do you call this? This cover reminds me of the hairnet that nurses wear. I don't know why. So I must say, one of the things that consistently impresses me about Accuphase is how every unit comes from the factory perfect. I don't see dust, fingerprints. I mean, the fact that I'm mentioning it means that this is not always the case. I've seen, unfortunately, sometimes very expensive products that come from the factory, beautifully finished in every way, except somebody left some smudges on this side or fingerprints and so on. I've never seen that with any Accuphase. They're so well put together and so well finished so that the person that opens it gets a real delight and joy in doing so. Let me put this on that shelf over there and we will have a look at it. All right. So your power's over here. These are your inputs. One of the things to note is that, and again, Allison can come close later and give you the shots. There's a gold rim that goes right around it that's subtle, but it adds a really nice sense of class to it. That's your power switch, and the moment that you engage it, first of all, it's a very nice positive feel, very tactile. Then you immediately see that the unit lights up and you have these two relatively big meters. They're analog, which I kind of like. And of course, the input knob, when you turn it, you can see that the red LED follows it and lights up, so you can see what you've selected. Over here is your volume, and again, very nice solid feel, and it's also ringed with that gold accent. Then behind this panel, if you push this, are all the other hidden options. Let's go through it since we've got this here. So this integrated amplifier allows you to hook up to 2 pairs of speakers. So you can switch it off, speaker A, B, or A plus B. So you can have 2 sets of speakers, speaker A, speaker B, or you can have both sets playing at the same time. These are your tone controls for bass and treble. You push this to engage, otherwise you turn it off. You will see here it says DAC. So on the back, later on when I turn it on, I'll show you, there are slots to allow you to buy the optional modules. So if you wanted to, for example, buy the DAC module or the phono module, which shows you the MM or MC, that's where you engage it. And when you push, for example, DAC, then display shows you the option of going between optical or coax or any other input options. Same with MM or MC. Invert phase. This is useful if you find that the sound might be a little bit thin. You can try inverting the phase. Sometimes that will make it a little bit more natural sounding. And of course mono, which is very useful. If your system seems to sound louder on one side than the other and is consistently that way, push the mono button. If the sound seems to be, again, stronger on one side versus the other, there's a problem with your balance. You might want to adjust the speakers or adjust the balance itself on the preamplifier. And that's what you do over here, this balance knob. Compensation. So this is their name for what used to be called loudness back in the, I think it was the 20s or 30s, I can't remember. Two doctors, Fletcher and Munson, discovered that the human ear is not linear. At relatively low volumes, our ears are not as sensitive to low frequencies and high frequencies. So you can imagine a curve that goes like this. So your low frequencies are less sensitive and your high frequencies are also less sensitive. So at late night listening, if you enjoy or if you have to listen at night and you're missing the bass, all you have to do is press that and it boosts the bass a little bit and boosts the highs a little bit, so it gives you a little bit more sense of enjoyment and aliveness. The display button turns everything off except for the AccuPhase sign. So this way, if you want to listen late at night, you don't want to see any of the lights to bother you, you can do that. Turn it back on. I mentioned balance, left and right. This is interesting. So normally you have it switched over here where it says main in normal, which is the 12 o'clock position. However, if let's say you have a home theater receiver or processor and you want to use the AccuPhase as an amplifier for that application, you just switch this selector to either balance or line. So if you're, for example, surround sound processor, let's say you have a Denon surround sound processor, you can take the front outputs, front, left, and right, and connect it to either the balance or line input. Line meaning RCA, balance meaning XLR, and by switching over there, the rest of the electronics are turned off except for the amplifier. So that's how you can use that for that capability. And then recorder. So this allows you to put in your reel-to-reel cassette deck, room correction system. If you have something like that, you can put that in there as well. And then of course your volume control and attenuator. Attenuator is sort of like mute, except it doesn't completely mute it, it just cuts it down. So very simple to use, but again, very high quality. Just by touching the knobs and so on, you can feel right away that this is a luxury piece. I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to turn it around so you can see it. So starting over here, these are the two module slots that I was talking about. So you can put one as your DAC and put the other one as a phono, or you can have two DACs if you want, or two phonos if you prefer. And then these are your inputs, RCA inputs and XLR inputs. They've labeled it tuner, CD, line 1, line 2, line 3. And one of the nice things about AccuPhase is that all their connectors are covered by these little black covers. Just makes it look nice. This is your balanced CD, and this is your pre-out. So if you wanted to use this as a preamplifier and you've got a different amplifier, then you connect from here to your amplifier. And that's another set of balance inputs, so you have two balance inputs over here. And I talked about the balance output, pre-out. All right, so over here, you can see it says balance connection, ground, positive, negative, ground. So 1, 2, 3. So in this case, ground is, pin 2 is negative, and over here pin 2 is positive. And again, Allison can give you a static picture to show you that. Now, in most cases, the convention is that balance configuration, pin 2 is positive. But with AccuPhase, pin 2 is negative for some reason. So if I were using the balance connection over here, I would want to switch this over to there. Okay? And then finally, these are your speaker connections. So again, nice chunky connectors, speaker connectors. I don't love the fact that, and again, Allison can take a picture of it from the side. There's a thick collar over here, and then there's a slot where you can put your spades or your bare wire in there, or you can put your bananas through here. I don't like the collar here because it limits your ability to put your spades in a particular direction if you need to. So for example, let's say your speaker wires are very stiff and the spades are angled a certain way and you don't want to twist it too hard. It may be more natural to go here, but you can't do that, as you can see. So you'd have to somehow angle it through here. But that's their design, and what can you do? So again, Allison can show you a picture of that. So otherwise, this is typical of every AccuPhase piece I've seen, and I really like it. I like this nice, slightly textured finish at the top, and the color is contrasted with this nice, shiny, metallic, sort of a gray. But yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing what this sounds like and comparing it to the E5000, which we have. We've done a video of the E5000, which Allison can link in the description. If you own this, this has been out for a little while, over a year, I believe. If you own this, write down your impressions. I'd love to read it, see what you think. I'm looking forward to hearing this for myself, and then comparing to an equivalent Macintosh perhaps, or we've got Hagel as well, which is roughly in the same price as well. So maybe we'll do a 2 or 3 way comparison as time permits. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.